design the darts of the plan. Gusto ain't made an art of the man. The new knowledge of power. One more prayer. Knowledge is power, and power is knowledge. Break the chains and experience the knowledge. Find power in power, and truth in knowledge. Once you know, no one can take your knowledge. I read book after book, studying the power, spent hour after hour, learning black power, destroying lie after lie. For the power found self in these pages of conceptual power. I found the truth and I'm not letting go. Frederick Douglass and Booker T found power. Nat Turner found truth in his darkest hour. Mama Harriet set us free and stood for we. In these pages I found power in our history. UEP birthed the Panther in me. In me, never let a fascist pig carry me, not me. Revolutionary thoughts, all I read. Normal for my soul, keep my spirit on high. Revolutionary thought is always on the rise. Yeah, it's always on the rise. Love. Knowledge is power, and power is knowledge. Break the chains and experience the knowledge. Find power in power, and truth in knowledge. Once you know, no one can take your knowledge. I read book after book, studying the power, spent hour after hour, learning black power, destroyed lie after lie. For the power found self in these pages of conceptual power. Our problem was never us, our problems was them. Them being the ones who robbed and took us. Kings and queens, nation builders. From stolen legacy to Anthony Brada. Building institutions with black knowledge. Build black libraries for black scholars. Building black minds, urban philosophy, urban black reads every one place. Black owned bookstores, we support your space. To all black authors, we give much thanks. Knowledge is power, and power is knowledge. Break the chains and experience the knowledge. Find power in power and truth in knowledge. Once you know, no one can take your knowledge. I read book after book, studying the power, spent hour after hour, learning black power, destroyed lie after lie. For the power found self in these pages of conceptual power. Our problem was never us. Our problem was never us. Our problem was never us. Ooh. Knowledge is power, our power is knowledge. Break the chains and experience the knowledge. Find power in power and truth in knowledge. Once you know, no one can take your knowledge.
Peace, 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 family. Man, I hope you all had an amazing week. You know, usually I go live on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I will not be live this Sunday. I actually wasn't live last Sunday, but I gave you all a little bit of homework, right? There was a debate that took place. I don't want to call it the debate. I would call it some good teaching took place about a week ago. I had an impromptu live with Brother Ankh and one of my engineering students. Shout out to Brother Ankh and Noah. And they were not battling, but they were exchanging ideas and information around this whole concept that Christianity is an African religion. So I said, look, in lieu of going live, y'all check that out, right? And so I won't be live this Sunday. I am doing an impromptu live tonight. Many of you have already heard that the Reverend Dr. Jesse Jackson transitioned. You know, he transitioned, and there are a lot of mixed reactions online about it, right? You know, you got some people who are like, I could care less, right? Because they have bought into some of the misinformation and disinformation around him. And then you got, you know, some people are saying, wait a minute, I am familiar with some of the shaky stuff that he's done, and I'm good. So people have mixed reactions. I must admit, I sort of had a mixed reaction, but I'm going to unpack that with Baba tonight. Shout out to Baba Amin Ojuwoke. He is in the building, and so I'm going to unpack that with him. Family, before I do, family, make sure that you get your 100 years of celebrating Black History hoodie. You see that I'm rocking it. This is a high quality hoodie. I don't know if you all can tell. This ain't no janky hoodie. So make sure that you head on over to meltrek365.com. Head on over to meltrek365.com. I'm going to drop the link. Oh, one of the moderators, she already dropped it in the chat. There it is, meltrek365.com. As soon as you get on the website, you'll see a place where you can click. You'll see a button that says shop now. You click shop now, and it'll take you to where you can purchase your commemorative hoodie and t-shirt. All right. Celebrating 100 years of institutionalizing the celebration and study of Black history. See, your girl, Dr. Maada, had an issue when they kept saying, we're celebrating 100 years of Black History Month. No, we're not. We're celebrating 50 years of Black History Month. And we're celebrating 100 years since the establishment of Negro History Week. So let's be clear on it. But I will concede and say we are celebrating 100 years of institutionalizing the study and celebration of Black, the study, teaching, and celebration of Black history. Ashe. So make sure that you head on over here, grab your hoodie, grab your t-shirt. I'm gonna get on Baba. Baba, I ain't see no name. Usually you the first one. Usually Baba the first one. I ain't see Baba. He's saying something in the back. I'm getting ready to add it right now. But this is the t-shirt family. And you see that I'm rocking the hoodie tonight. High quality hoodie, nice and soft. It's not those hard hoodies. All right. So let's get to it. Let me bring Baba Amin on, family. I reached out to Baba and I was like, Baba. I said, man, Baba went live. And man, he went live. And it was for 27 minutes, maybe 25 to 27 minutes. And I actually felt convicted watching his live, and I also learned some things from him. And that's why actually he's one of my favorite master teachers. Every time I engage him, I learn from him. He operates with the highest integrity. He treats everybody with decency and respect. He's honest. And that man can teach. Lord knows he could teach. That's why Jalen's in the Uhuru Academy. And it will behoove you, in the words of one of my colleagues, it will behoove you to get your child in the Uhuru Academy. So without further ado, family, I'm bringing up Baba Amin. Ojuwo, peace and love to you, Baba. Peace and love to you.
I got to get my t-shirt. And my hoodie. I am rocking the UACI tonight, but I got to get my t-shirt, my hoodie. 100 years celebrating Black history. Gotta do it. Come on, beautiful Baba. Work as usual.
Come on, Baba, man. I just appreciate you and appreciate the work that you do. You're always working. I saw that when I came to South Carolina. Like, you're always working. Even when I was there and you were like kind of entertaining me, like you were working. Your laptop was up. You in there creating. Mama and Koyo's coming out with water and stuff. Y'all need some water. Y'all all right, And so like you're constantly working. And I know Baba mentioned, talk to them about what's coming up on, Juneteenth Festival is going to be really big in Columbia, South Carolina. Could you talk to them about that, Baba?
Absolutely. And shout out to the whole team with the South Carolina Juneteenth Freedom Fest. My brother Jamal, his beautiful wife Carmen, the founders, Sister Tina, my brother Rutaski, my sister Kiwan. This is the 10th anniversary of the South Carolina Juneteenth Freedom Fest. I'm honored to be board president for the second year in a row. And y'all, if you're going anywhere for Juneteenth, I was gonna say if you're in Columbia. No, if you're going anywhere from Juneteenth, I think this is one of the best celebrations in the country. It's coming up on June 20th, 2026, right here in Columbia, South Carolina at Finley Park. But the cool thing about what we do, Dr. Maada, is the whole week of Juneteenth, we're addressing issues in the community. We're promoting the arts. We're talking about Black mental health. We're talking about Black economics, Black-owned businesses, the whole 9 yards. So everybody just go to South Carolina JuneteenthFreedomFest.com. JuneteenthFreedomFest.com, and you'll do, and I'll put it in the chat as well.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
More details, but very, very excited about that. Also about to release information next week about our online summer school, right? That we're going to be doing at the Uhuru Academy. Say, man, I would love to get my children in the Uhuru Academy, but they in the public school. She in the band, she playing the clarinet, all that kind of stuff. Okay. Look, 2 weeks in the summer. We're gonna do 2 sessions. We're gonna do 2 weeks in June, 2 weeks in July. I'll be putting the information out there. They can get up, spend 3 hours with us online so they get that African history, get that strong culture, get that vision development, build that confidence up, and getting them ready. You know what I'm saying, for next year. Get a little taste of the Uhuru Academy. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. Once you go Uhuru Academy, you usually don't go back. I'm just letting you know.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Once you go black education, you don't go back.
You don't go back.
But definitely check us out at uhuruacademy.com.
All right. And Tiffany 410, could you put that in the chat? uhuruacademy.org, correct, Baba?
Yeah,
uhuruacademy.org.
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely.
All right, let me see. Please, Tiffany 410, please put that in the chat. I want to shout out my Adi and family before we jump into tonight's discussion. Baba Gregory Torrance, he says, Hotep, Dr. Ma'at, looking forward to the build tonight. Asante Sana, again, for your assistance and support. No problem, Baba, always. You know I'm here. Malay, who's that? Malay Nicole, 1449. She says, Hotep, Dr. Ma'at with the Pan-African colors. Peace and love to you, Queen. I see who we got. Joseph One True Cole says, Bibi, true and living. So that's black family, black, true and living. Ashe, he said, I'm a hop back on little later, Doc. Thank you always. Peace and love to you. I see AMXM-7 says, peace family. Of course, the number one moderator on YouTube, Tiffany 410 says, peace to the family. Marvin Gaye says, L-U, what's that? Lupe, L-U-P-E. Is that Lupe, Baba? You know, I be butchering stuff. Yeah, look. Brother Knowledge Born Allah says, a BB Fahodie, African warrior scholar, Dr. Oyama and Dr. Baba Amin, continue to speak truth to power and leaving of African-centered warrior youth and future generations. So my bad. I ain't mean to butcher your stuff. Peace and love to you, Brother Knowledge Born. Peace and love to you, Solomon. Peace and love to you, Solomon. Ben Frank is in the building. Peace and love to you, Ben Frank. Haven't seen you in a minute, brother, but peace and love to you. Glad you back. AMXM says SC-803. You know, I know that area code, Baba, very well.
Mm-hmm. Yes. 803
you know, I know that. Come on. Okay. Sister Myron Riddick, one of our most supportive parents. You know, that's Logan's mama. Logan is going to figure his way into one of those sessions. So Mama gonna get him in there. Shout out to Dr. Craig Samuels. He says, peace, Dr. Ma'at, and greetings, Baba Amin. And Wisdom Bars is in the building. Wisdom Bars says, peace and love. Family, do me a favor. Please thumb up this discussion. You know how the YouTube algorithm works. The more you engage a video, that's how it gets in the algorithm, right? So you gotta thumb up stuff. You gotta leave comments. You know, and even after the live stream is over, go back to the live stream and leave a comment. That's how we get the engagement up and the message out. You understand? So the more we engage a video, whether we thumb it up, whether we share it, whether we leave comments, that's how you get in the algorithm. So family, do me a favor. Make sure that you thumb up this video. Share this video on social media. Share this video on social media. Let's get some more behinds in these virtual seats. All right. I do see Tim Jones is in the building. He says, peace to the chat.
Peace.
Hope all is well mentally and physically. Peace and love to you, brother. And you made me cry on my birthday, Tim Jones. That message was beautiful that you left me. Shout out to the United African Diaspora. Do not let FBA corrupt African history. 1970, John Henry said he want all the smoke. John Henry said, I want all the smoke.
We just hit the live button. He ready.
He did. He ready. He ready to battle in the chat, Baba. But look, so Jesse Jackson, he transitioned, and as I explained at the beginning of this broadcast, there were a lot of mixed reactions, right? There were a lot of mixed reactions. Some people were like slandering Jesse Jackson. Oh, you know, he was an agent. He was lining his pockets. He really wasn't about Black liberation. Oh, I didn't like that he was in the politics. You know, it's like, Baba, it's like with our people, we love to point out each other's imperfections. Mm-hmm. You know, we see somebody's flawed, and instead of trying to work with the person and trying to, you know how you always talk about that concept, and I forgot it, and I know it's a traditional African in traditional African society, and I forgot the name of this village that used to do it, but you talk about, Baba, like instead of isolating someone, like bringing them in, bringing them closer. Right. But what we do is we tear each other down. Soon as something happened, like even Dr. King, like people now they're talking about his, you know, extramarital affairs. They don't talk about his work. They focus more on his extramarital affairs than his actual political activism, right?
Right.
And I would even say
Right.
political and economic, because he started kind of shifting towards the end, right? His
Right.
political and towards the end economic activism. And so we tend to, Baba, we pointed out, so as soon as Jesse closed his eyes, the man is not even in the ground yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
And black folks were online, tearing him down. What are your thoughts about that when you saw the mixed reactions, and I too had a mixed reaction, but then I had to check myself. So what were
Right.
your thoughts, Baba, when you saw those mixed reactions?
Initially this is not how African-centered people do things. So it wasn't even the what for me so much as it's the how. We don't jump on as soon as somebody's in the ground or as soon as somebody transitions and begin to slander the name. We have more respect for people who may be connected to that person. You know what I'm saying? Good or bad. You know what I'm saying? To give them a little time before you do that. Also, there's a difference between educating and then just doing this soundbite scholarship that we done got caught up into. This shock thing. Like you don't always have to post. You don't always have to talk. You can have your opinion. You have a right to your opinion. Absolutely. All of our leaders, good, bad, and ugly, are for us to study. Period.
Come on.
Right? They're all curriculum. We have to study critical analysis. But if I come on and I just slam, oh, he was a coon, boom. What I'm doing, I'm closing the book on that curriculum to somebody who don't know the history that might want to go in and see what's going on. Who is this person? Who is this Reverend Dr. Jesse Jackson, right? And so I just think we have to be more responsible before we just jump out here and take on the same cultural norms as our oppressor the same cultural norms that we're trying to heal our youth from. We're trying to get them to stop beefing on social media. We're trying to get them to stop being desensitized to death. I just think it's in bad form for us to be this desensitized. We have to look at ourselves. That's just how I feel about it. I don't agree with a whole lot of things philosophically, ideologically, that Reverend Dr. Jesse Jackson believed in, right? But I don't feel the need. I'm not dancing on his grave, and for those say, well, he was a CIA psyop. I mean, dude, you got to show me evidence.
Where the paperwork?
Where the paperwork? You can't just say that to me as a thinker, as a reader. Right. And it's irresponsible to say that to young people or other people who don't know. And we just got to consider the people first.
No, absolutely. And Baba, let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like we romanticize our leaders? Like they are supposed to be these, we idealize and we romanticize them. Not even just leaders, even celebrities, even Black celebrities. And then when some dirt come out, we're like, I didn't know she did that, or I didn't know he did that. They're humans. They're humans. And they're people. And people do things, good and bad. It's the yin and the yang. And I just pray, and Baba, Lord knows I've done good, and Lord knows I've done bad, Baba. And I just pray that when I close my eyes, that I've done more good, that I put more good in the world. But we typically, idealize and we romanticize people, and they're supposed to be these perfect things. Dr. King was supposed to be perfect. Reverend Dr. Jesse Jackson was supposed to be perfect. This basketball person or football person, or they're supposed to be these perfect beings. And that's just not reality, Baba. And one thing you said that spoke volumes to me was you talked on your live about pressure. And when you're under pressure, you don't know what you're going to do.
You don't know.
So people saying, oh, Dr. King, he cheated on his wife. And I'm not saying, because he was pressured, he should have ran out there and cheated on his wife. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, Baba. But I don't know what that man was going through. I don't know. I don't know what it was like. Like you said on your live stream earlier, you said to get threatening phone calls every day, to get audio recordings of you having, sex, and your wife is listening to it and saying, I hear you. I don't know. You get what I'm saying, Baba? I don't know what that's
Mhm.
like for somebody. And
Mhm.
he got stabbed. Didn't he get stabbed one
Yeah,
time? He was somewhere.
he got stabbed in the chest. He
Come on,
like
man.
Dr. King was almost never Dr. King. You know, he got stabbed in the chest at a book signing. I believe it was in New York by
Yes.
a sister who was having some mental. They say she was having some mental issues. They always it's a weird thing. I don't want to go off on a tangent, but
No, I
even
know.
his mother was ultimately assassinated and
Yes.
shot
Yes, she
in the
was.
church in 1974, I believe, by a young brother with mental health challenges. It's like somebody sending these people. But Dr. King was actually stabbed with a letter opener at a book signing years before he was actually assassinated. So he was constantly under threat. That's a lot of pressure. But
Mhm.
y'all, we have a history, Dr. Mai, of
Mhm.
being under that kind of pressure. Trying to escape slavery is pressure.
Yes, it is.
Being
Yes, it
on a plantation is pressure. Y'all don't think deals wasn't cut?
is. Right. Right.
Deals was cut. It was like, okay, look, you know, Master came after. I'm tired of Baba Amin running all the time. I'm tired of him running. He talking about revolt, right? And then he might have looked over at Jesse and said, you know, Jesse, you know, what we gonna do about it? And he might say, hey, well, you know, Master, we need to get him a little extra sugar cane. We give the people a little extra this, a little extra that. I'll turn in Baba Amin. We'll sacrifice him if you can do that. Deals were made.
Baba, let me say
Sometimes you
this.
got to make hard decisions in war.
Baba, you about to, ooh, so check this out, Baba. Even the Maroons made deals.
The Maroons made deals. Yes,
Hold
they
on,
did.
hold on. Baba, I had the receipts. Even the
Mhm.
Maroons, and for those of you who are familiar
Mhm.
with the history, I'm talking about black people who escaped. They left the plantation. You know, they went and built cities and towns. And I mean, really, literally, like I'm talking about the villages that they built were comparable to cities and towns, right? Like
Yes,
literally. They even made deals with the state,
yes, they did.
the Maroons.
Mhm.
And I'm talking about against other black people,
They
the
did.
Maroons. So let's
Yes,
not,
they
Bob,
did.
they don't want to play this game with me.
But when
I'll
we
bring out
start
the receipt.
romanticizing, because we believe in what the Maroons did, we don't want to talk about that part of it
No.
because we have a Maroon mentality. But we don't want to talk about that part where, okay, Queen Nanny, we got everybody up here. You know, we're going back and we're raiding these villages, right? But they coming. The British are coming. So now we got to figure out, do we continue to raid the villages or do we cut a deal with the British?
Facts. And Baba,
Because
we
we
can even
can't beat them
what
militarily. So,
yeah,
so what do we do? Do we give up what we built and say, hey, it's freedom or death? And some people do that.
some people do.
Some people do that. Or do we say, okay, at least we got this village, we'll cut this deal and we'll try to do what we can and try to navigate. And I just get mad sometimes, and y'all got to excuse me, I'm fast and I ain't ate yet, so I'm hangry. I just get mad sometimes because you at your job eating your cheese sandwich and stuff like that, you're not making them same kind of sacrifices.
Facts.
You're not a full-time activist. How you judging somebody who was?
That part, Baba.
Right?
That part.
And you got Jesse Jackson came into a movement where when he joined SCLC, it was already bought and paid for.
Mm.
SCLC, SNCC, and others, they belong to a coalition of movements that were being funded by a consortium of Jewish donors. So he
Facts.
came into a situation where he came into the civil rights business.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
I'm just putting that out there.
No. I'm glad that you did. I'm glad that you did.
When you look at the pattern of his work and those of his ilk, the integrationists, right? Who was attempting to change the system from within. Our job is to look at the body of work and say, did that work? How did that work out? And if not, what needs to be changed?
Absolutely.
But that was that philosophy, right? And so I think a lot of us who are rooted in the Black Power movement, rooted in Black liberation movements, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm the son of Khaled, like Dr. Khaled, you'd say, Message Jesse, all that kind of
I
stuff.
remember.
He said, crucify him in the 90s. You know what I'm saying?
He did.
So we don't agree with the ideology, but that don't mean that you just, you know, slander the man. Now, if you got hard proof that he was some kind of CIA, PSYOP or whatever, you got to present that.
Yeah, present that. Bring your receipts, bring the evidence. And let me say this, Bob. I wanted to go back to this about jumping, about not jumping. I want to jump back to this about whole idea of deals. Even Queen Nzinga, remember,
Mhm.
she cut a deal
Cut a
with
deal.
with the Dutch in
Mhm.
order to get the Portuguese off her back. Right
Right.
now, let's bring it up to today. Right now, Ibrahim Toure over there at Burkina Faso,
Mhm.
he's working with the Russians,
He's working with the
right?
Russians
To
right now.
avoid, yeah, I think, what is it, to go against like the Western nations. He's aligning
Right.
himself with Russia. So
Right.
people cut deals. You know what I mean? Let's not get it
I can
twisted.
give you another
Yeah,
one.
go ahead, go ahead.
W.E.B. Du Bois worked against Garvey.
I heard, I heard, I heard, Baba. Don't know too much studying. I didn't do too much studying on that, but I did hear that, Baba.
Hey, I've done, I've done some reading,
Yeah, I already
and
know. I
he
already
did.
know.
Yeah, he worked in his ilk. They worked against Garvey because you had different factions with different ideologies, and they were fighting for the hearts and minds of black people. And y'all know this on the streets. There are drug dealers that call the police on other drug dealers just to get the drug dealer off the block,
Facts.
just to get the
Facts.
competition off the block. So some of your
Facts.
favorite black activists did that as well.
Yeah.
It's a hard game, and
Yeah.
it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and Baba, I'm not romanticizing anybody. I mean, we
No.
all have our stuff. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
We all have our stuff. So when I hear about, oh, this person did this, they cheated, they did, I'm not surprised. It's
Right.
one thing that one of my older cousins said to me, and she said human behavior is consistent. You know, people didn't just start lying today. People didn't start robbing today. People didn't start screwing today. Like people, like human behavior is consistent, right?
Right.
So the stuff that you see happening now has always been. You know what I mean? And that's why you had uh, moral codes, right?
Mhm.
That were established and enforced in villages, right? You know,
Right.
and ethics, right? And so that, so to walk around and just think that you're going to find a human being that is without flaws is just bananas to me, Baba.
Ain't that one
And
yet.
I agree with what you're saying, that even like I have, like you said, we have ideological differences, but while we're acknowledging the differences, we can also acknowledge that he did do some good work. Last thing I want to say, and I'll land my plane with this, Baba. I'm so tired of this whole agent. You touched on it. You said if you don't have any evidence, don't throw that out there. People doing that now. This person, the agent. Dude, I've been called an agent. Here, agent. Everybody, agent.
Mhm.
And remember, Baba, they did that stuff in the 60s and 70s during the Black Power
Absolutely.
movement. This person,
Mhm.
the agent. That person, the agent.
Mhm.
If you don't have the proof, shut up. Because all you're doing is slandering folks if you don't have the proof. Now, I'm with Baba. If you have the proof, you got the receipts, show the receipts.
Show the
But
receipts.
if you don't have the proof, be quiet. They saying that online. Jesse Jackson was an agent. And they're saying that he was a part of the conspiracy to unalive Dr. King. That's another bone that they're
Yeah.
putting out there,
Yeah.
Baba.
Yeah. And
Could you speak
again,
to that, Baba? Mhm.
yeah. Again, irresponsible. Is it irresponsible to bring that out if you don't have actual receipts? And just so y'all know, somebody else saying it on a video is not a receipt. Because we'd be like, no, I saw it on YouTube. No, I heard something. They said it on. They said, who is they, and what are their resources?
Are they
Right?
qualified? Are they even
Are they
qualified?
qualified? Right? And even if you believe it, believe it. Understand it's a belief. It's not necessarily a fact. Right? So we got to be careful. We have to be careful with what we put out there. So yeah, I saw the video with Hosea Williams, who was there, who accused Jesse Jackson of being an opportunist, saying that he as soon as Dr. King was killed, that Reverend Jackson positioned himself to kind of be the next in line. So he even put some of Dr. King's blood on his shirt to look like he was there for his last words. Now, that was Hosea Williams, who was actually there. He was an eyewitness. Okay, perhaps that happened, right? But again, you got to look at the whole body. These are people, right? And they were in the civil rights business. And when Dr. King was taken from us, there was a sentiment on who's going to be next, who's going to fill that void. There was already competition to see who was going to be at the top. You know why? They people. Guess
That's
what? When
right.
Malcolm left the nation, it was competition to see who was going to take his place.
That's right.
Guess what? When Huey went to jail, it was competition to see who was going to take his place.
That's right,
Let's
Baba.
stop over romanticizing and start learning the realities, because when you get in this, the reality hits you. See, when you're not in it, Doc, you could run with all kind of scenarios. You can lie about what you would do. Like people say, if I was a slave, ain't nowhere in the world they're gonna whip me in my back. You might be the main one out there singing Wade in the Water.
I hear that too.
Yeah, they ain't gonna hit you because you're gonna sing before they even get there. Wade, you're gonna be ready, right? So we're always talking about what we gonna do and what we would have done. And we like to wax poetic, and we like to inherit our favorite activists' beef, but we don't want to inherit their work.
Come on, say that one more time, Baba. That was a bar.
We love to inherit our favorite activists' beef, but we don't want to inherit their work. The best way to honor your ancestor that Jesse sold out is to pick up the work of your ancestors to show the sellout that they wasn't effective. But as long as the work dies, that's the only way our ancestors truly die, when the work dies.
Fact.
If the work's not alive, then what we talking about?
Right. What are we talking about?
What we talking? Calling you a coon ain't gonna revive Malcolm's work. Only thing that's gonna revive Malcolm's work is me getting up and putting in the work. And I'm calling it. We're gonna see a shift, Dr. Mike.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna see a shift. We're gonna start beefing like this. How we open 5 schools this year? How many of y'all open?
That part, Baba. That part. Show us your work. Show your work.
Yeah, man, we put 80 businesses on the ground in the last 6 months. What y'all talking about?
What y'all talking about? Right. That's right, Baba. That's right. And Baba, I want to say this. You do have some people, and y'all might say, here go Dr. Ma'at. Here she goes. She always got to call out somebody. Here she go. This video was sent to me by one of my supporters. This is a video of Antonio Moore, the brother who helped to establish ADOS, the American Descendant of Slave, political organization. And, he kind of glossed over, Jesse Jackson's, Reverend Dr. Jesse Jackson's legacy. He just limited to that whole African-American thing. It was just, okay, he coined African-American, and in the video, he's like, we don't know what that term means. We ain't never been to Africa, and a lot of us ain't going and don't have the desire to go. And when you, Baba, I just want to play 2 minutes, okay? And that's it. We don't even have to comb through the whole thing. That's just the first 2 minutes going to have you heated.
That part done, we can move right into the discussion. So what is the discussion? Discussion is, for many of you that are born post, say, like 85 or so, you believe that this concept of Pan-Africanism and being African-American was a normal part of Black identity in America prior to, say, 1980, or it was always here?
Nobody. Do you believe that, Baba? Is that accurate? That if we were born prior to 1985, we think that, Pan-African was always a part of the Black identity and it was always here. I think any serious study of Pan-Africanism, hold on, I had to grab the book, Baba.
Come on, because he ain't grabbing any, evidently.
Yeah, he ain't grabbing no book. This book right here by Baba Imhotep Fatiyu, the redemption and reclamation and restoration of Pan-Africanism. I highly suggest that you get it if you want to understand what Pan-Africanism is. I don't think that anybody, Baba, is saying that we felt like Pan-Africanism, which is an ideology, and Baba breaks down what it is an ideology. Right. I don't think anybody felt like it was a part of the Black American identity, and it's always been that. I mean, am I in error, Baba?
Look, everything I did. We're called, they coined the phrase African American because we're of African descent, right? That's it. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing else. That's it. We're American citizens of African descent. It wasn't a secret Pan-African agenda. Matter of fact, most Pan-Africans I knew said, I ain't no American. That's what most Pan-Africans would say. I don't want to be, until we treat it like Americans, don't put American on mine. Malcolm said, how you going to call yourself an American? You're not treated like a first-class American. If you don't have the rights of an American citizen. American isn't a biological term. That's a national designation.
Facts.
Right? So a lot of Pan-African people, when the term African-American came out, they said, y'all just got that half right.
Come on.
Because I know I'm physiologically or biologically of African descent, you know, but that American thing, we still fighting for that. And even if you call yourself FBA, that A still got an asterisk by it.
Yeah, and Anthony, I hear you. Anthony said, Reverend, he didn't coin the phase. He said the first did. Black benevolent.
That's number one. Yes.
Yeah, he's right. Yeah, he's right. That Anthony,
Afro-American was used prior. Malcolm's organization of Afro-American Unity, right? And so that's where he's wrong there, number one.
Yeah, and it says right here, look at this. The first Black benevolent organization in America was called the Free African Union Society, founded in Newport, Rhode Island in 1780. I would say he would so instead of
Absalom Jones.
So look, instead of saying coining, he popularized the term African American. But hold on, Baba, it gets worse. Hold on, watch this.
No, this was an introduction with not any kind of planning, no kind of real research or anything else, just some cobbled together stuff that now has left a generation of people.
So nobody thought about it. It was no planning.
Yeah,
it was no thought. It wasn't well thought out.
In the room.
Right.
In America that really need a political awakening, blockaded from politics because they think that they're African. But then they'll never go there and don't even know that it's not a place. It's a continent that is so diverse that it's like I'm saying I'm world American. A movement.
It seems like he doesn't understand that first of all, Baba, we say African American and we identify, first of all, with the continent because many of us don't know exactly which ethnicity from which we descend, right? So so we just say Africa. But if you really think about the African American, we are an amalgamation of many African ethnicities. So if we want to say African American, it definitely fits, Baba. I mean, what are your thoughts? He's saying, well, you ain't never been, it's a continent. You naming yourself at the continent.
This is one thing we know. No matter what we call us, they call us the same thing. And there's no name that you can walk into the halls of government or political. There's no name. That ain't been our problem. It's like, yeah, how do we get rid of this racism? Man, we need to come up with a good name. Man, we come up with a good name, we can get equality. Man, maybe if we come up with a good name, we can get reparations. That's why we ain't had reparations. We blank that say name, we putting the wrong answer in it. And as soon as we put the right answer, the U.S. government gonna look and say, they finally got it right. Nation of Black America, write the check. That's not the situation that we in. We're not all the same thing, Dr. Ma'ai. That's another reason why when we say African and things like that, it's all encompassing, right? Malcolm said Afro-American because he was organizing with Black people throughout the Western Hemisphere. When you don't understand the history of Pan-Africanism, you don't know that some of your Black American activists that you loved back in the day, when they had to escape this country, they had to rely on Black people in other countries to provide them with asylum. They don't know how many people went to Tanzania, went to Algiers, went to Cuba. And how smart that was. They could have stayed here and died. They could have stayed here and went to prison. They could have stayed here and got shot in the face on a balcony too. But they chose to make friends because what they understood was when they started fighting for freedom here, when those young, beautiful, young 16, 17, 18, 20-year-old Black people started fighting for freedom here, it impacted the whole world. Black people all over the world started fighting for their freedom, fighting for independence. And they didn't say, we just getting ours. We got to delineate. We just gonna get out. They didn't get caught because they were linking up with African people. They got caught and killed because they was fighting the same enemy you fighting, or you trying not to fight, the one you avoiding. Because what you're trying to do is find a name that's gonna keep the whip off your back. That's what you're trying to do. I'm just gonna keep it a stack. You trying to find a safe name. You trying to find a name that those other people gonna respond to favorably. Good luck with that. They've already decided who you are. Who you gonna decide that you are? What you gonna decide? If you're gonna be a Black Hebrew, be a Black Hebrew and build a Black Hebrew nation. If that's what you're gonna do, stand on that.
In itself.
Oh, I'm sorry, Baba. I'm sorry, Baba. Go ahead.
No problem. If you're gonna be a Moor, build that. Build your Moorish building. Do what you gotta do. If whatever we call ourselves, let's build something. We finna move back to the hood. Are we finna build some foundational Black neighborhoods? Let's go. But I'm not arguing with you over a name.
Right.
I don't care what we call ourselves if we're gonna start loving our children again. If we can avoid artists like the young brother who unalived himself, the young rapper Lil Papa just unalived himself because he couldn't deal with the trauma of all the war and violence that was going on in the streets. A young boy that just wanted to be a poet. Now, if we're gonna be daddies, me and him, he could be an FBA, I could be a Pan-African. Let's go walk out in the street and hug these young boys and say, man, we taking y'all out these streets. We're gonna provide y'all with some opportunities. We're gonna love on y'all. Nah, y'all want to waste time and argue over a name because you're scared of the real work. That's all it is. Get out there and show these boys how to fix a car, how to build a house. Tell these young girls to pull their skirts down and take them tights off. And we scared to do that. But we want to sit up here a bunch of grown people and argue over names because you don't want to read a history book, too lazy to do your dang homework. So you listen to a video, it sounded catchy. Now all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, you Nasheed Jr. or something. I'm not with it. I'm not gonna waste my time. I've sacrificed too much, Dr. Mai. I don't play.
No. And I'm with you, Baba. I'm sitting over here thinking right now, Baba, you cooking. I was looking for this while you were talking. I didn't know. I didn't mean to be rude. I didn't know that that you could hear the sound on this other screen. But Baba, even Dr. John Henry Clarke, and let me be clear. However you want to identify, if you want to identify as an African American, a Black American, ADOS, a foundational Black American, that's your prerogative. That's I don't, I identify the way I want to identify. I love it all. I embrace it all. African American and all of it, all of the terms. Foundational. Some people have an issue. I go crazy. Foundation. What do you mean? I don't subscribe to the stuff that comes with it. And I know Dr. Asar say you can't separate identity from ideology. So he'll get me there. But what I'm saying to you guys is this. However you want to identify, that's how you identify. But check this out. Just like Tony Antonio Moore had his criticisms about the term African American, and he wants to, he calls himself an American descendant of slave, or he refers to himself, I think, as like a Black American or something like that. But Dr. John Henry Clarke had his, and this is for people who say, well, I ain't African American, I'm Black American. Dr. John Henry Clarke had his criticisms of identifying yourself as Black. Let's see what he had to say.
Ethnic grouping as against what we call race. If you go back and you look at an old dictionary, you won't even find a definition for a race. Race grew out of the pseudo-scientific development of Europe. And this is what Rogers was addressing himself to, and saying that according to your rule, which is ridiculous, a lot of you belong to us.
Well, in another context, if race is arbitrary, then could we say that being called Black was a political term?
It's a political term, and a term which indicates our self-awareness at this juncture in history. And I think we really need it. We need to really bathe in Blackness for a while, but I wish we'd get the bath over with and go on to something a little more important, because Black in itself is not an ethnic term. Black tells you how you look, but it don't tell you who you are. We are essentially an African people. Wherever we live on this earth, we're essentially an African people. And we relate to the millions of African people throughout the world, including the uncounted millions of Africans in Asia. The word Afro-American or African-American would probably be more appropriate and more honest and more in keeping with what we actually are. Because all of us are not positively, physically, real jet black. And so the argument now sometimes is between the supernationalists and the mild nationalists and blacker than thou, when Blackness is a state of mind, a state of attitude, a state of approach to things that can exist in almost any of us, including from the blonde black person to the jet black. And the jet black can be traitors, and they can be patriarchs. They can be a whole lot of. See, we've been everything in history from saint to buffoons. We are complete people, and we need to start looking at ourselves as a complete people. And I think that once we convinced ourselves that we're black and beautiful, we'll stop saying it and just go ahead and be black and beautiful and release a whole lot of energy for more important things.
All right, since you said that J.A.
So he said African American, and this is people, you got folks that talk about, oh, he's one of our, and I'm talking about the FBA family. They be like, Doc, that's one of our scholars. That's one of our scholars. Dr. John Henry Clark. Dr. John Henry Clark said, yeah, we African people. He understood that and said African or Afro-American would be more suitable. Hold on, Baba. Let me see. One more minute.
This is the original article in '89 out of the New York Times, talking about this movement by Jesse Jackson. Again, 89. Not 62, not 33, not 1905, in 89. A movement led by Reverend Jesse Jackson to call blacks African American has met with both rousing approval and deep-seated skepticism in a debate that is coming to symbolize the role and history of blacks in this country. The term used for years in intellectual circles is gaining currency among many other blacks who say its use is a sign that they are accepting their difficult past and resolving a long ambivalence toward Africa. The term has already shown up in the newest grade school textbooks, been adopted by several black-run radio stations and newspapers around the country, and appeared in titles of popular books. And the conversations of many blacks as they warm to the idea and speak of visiting Africa one day. In the chat, how many of you or your family members have visited Africa? And for those people that
you see the game he plays, Baba. You see the game he plays.
Now.
So it's so yeah. So I just think that, and I'm with you. Everybody who has a mic, everyone. So one thing that social media has done is given everybody a voice. And while I think that everyone has a voice, right? Everyone has a voice. I don't believe that all voices should be amplified. Okay. I don't believe that. I don't subscribe to that. And so that's his thing. He's harping on the whole Black American versus African American, really African American, because he wants to identify as ADOS. Baba, I just want to show the people, and we don't have to watch it. Maybe I'll watch this with you. Maybe I'll watch this with my viewers at a later date. But he was correct. They were debating the whole idea. Remember, Baba? Yeah, yes. Kwame Ture was debating what's in a name. Should we call ourselves just African American, or Black, or just Black American? This was in 1989, and this was a really good debate, to watch. And I think that Kwame Ture, basically, Baba, came from that school of, like you said, Malcolm's way of thinking. He kind of stated that position. But I just want to show the people that whole debate, like this has been going on, guys, since the term African American was proposed, to us. People have been debating whether we should subscribe to it, or not. So again, Baba, I'm at a point where just however you identify is however you identify, right? But I don't think we should limit Reverend Dr. Jesse Jackson's work to him popularizing African American, right? He did so much more, Baba. So could you build on that before we close out some of the stuff? Because people are limited, his work to just that. And he did so much more, Baba. He, his coalition, right? The Rainbow Push Coalition.
Yeah. Did the push, Operation Push. Dr. Jackson, he went from, in the 70s, he said it's no longer civil rights, now it's silver rights, right? And so he had a real economic type push, Black economic type push in the 70s, right? And he was one of those who tried to create a palatable Black power movement, right? And that's where a lot of the frustration kind of comes in, right? And because he went from saying Black power to soul power, right? Because soul power is more palatable than Black power. But he had the greatest call and response in the world. Everybody, I am. Somebody. I know everybody said, I may be in jail, but I am. somebody. I'm black, I'm beautiful, right? And some people might say that's kind of like a surface thing, but I remember being young and being little and hearing that and feeling good about myself. Whenever I heard that, you know what I'm saying? He even negotiated to get some black pilots who were being held hostage overseas by the Palestinians, brought back to the United States. Some of the international things that he did, man. And so he did some stuff, but again, that ideology, I feel that, right? I feel I'm not, that's not where I am. That's not the ilk that I'm on, right? And there is a black bourgeoisie in this country, and there is a disconnect between that black bourgeoisie and the black working class. You know what I'm saying? And there are gatekeepers, you know, who don't want grassroots organizations to get funding, right? And all of that. I'm not putting all that on Reverend Jackson's lap, but he's in that ilk and in that group, you know, that do that keep those of us who say, we want our own schools. Nah, y'all need to stay on over there. We on this integration bank, right? You know, and so, yeah, that's there. I'm not waxing poetic about anything, but you can't say he didn't provide scholarships for people. You can't say for those within that movement that he didn't do things for them, right? Those of us who ain't a part of that, he ain't supposed to do nothing for you. He ain't gonna do nothing for you. I go in the rooms right now, Dr. Maya, and I say, oh, no. Like if I go somewhere and it's what do they call? I forget the name, but some of these mainstream organizations, they ain't even do nothing for the Uhuru Academy.
Right, facts.
They're not. Urban League ain't gonna do nothing for African-centered education.
No, not at all.
I'll say it. It's not. Their donors won't let them do that. Once you start taking that money over there, and Minister Farrakhan talked about it, that was his criticism of Jesse Jackson and Malcolm, of all the integrationists. Once you take that money over there, they control you. Once you start sitting down with the Trumps and the rich Jews and things like that, yeah, they control the circumference of your organization. That's why we love and admire the Mutulu Shakurs. We love and we admire Assata Shakur. We admire those who said, no, we're gonna build our own independent operations in our community. We admire the Panthers, right? But for doing that, right? But even the Panthers teamed up with white liberals. That's why Kwame Ture would criticize them.
Right, facts.
You know, deals are made. Now I'm out here, I ain't making no deals, Dr. And my bank account proves it.
Me too, Baba. Remember you and I were talking about the struggle was real. I said, Baba, I pulled up in my hoopty. I said, Baba, I'm investing my resources. Me and you was trading our stories back and forth. Real talk. You know, when I came and scooped you, Baba, it wasn't in no high-end car.
It was not. We made our way on down to where we needed to go in the ride. You know what I'm saying? You know, Baba. Me and my family I don't mind saying this, we've been tiny home living for 7 years.
I remember you told me. I remember you said that with me. I remember.
So I do feel some type of way when I see somebody dissing what's wrong, and I might agree with you, but I'm like, but you don't support what we doing?
No, not at all.
That doesn't translate into any help for those of us who ain't taking the bag, for those of us who are not selling out. You talking bad about him don't help me.
Facts.
So I would prefer you use that energy to talk about conscious ingenuity. Use that energy to talk about Uhuru Academy. Or flip and say, he's a coon, but Dr. Amin's not. He's a sellout, but Dr. Ma'at isn't.
Right, facts.
At least shine some light on programs that are active and on the ground right now. Because when you just leave it at the negative, people come away saying this. And see, that's why ain't nobody doing nothing right now. Ain't nothing happening right. To see, that's why I don't get involved. That ain't why you don't get involved. You don't get involved because somebody Jesse sold out. You don't get involved because you're scared.
Yeah, I just want to address Spider-Man 1918. He talking about Pan-Africanism is dead. Don't know what's going on. You don't have a clue, man. You're just repeating talking points from YouTubers. You don't have a clue what's going on in this country and what's going on around the world. It's so much is happening right now. I'm talking about on the continent, in the UK and Europe and South America, right here in North America. But when your world, this is what I'm learning, Baba. When your world is social media, what's popular on social media, you start believing anything if you're not a thinker. And this is no, like, I'm not dissing Spider-Man 1918. I'm just saying, like, that's a talking point. Pan-Africanism is dead. Well, if you're tuning into, an algorithm, remember Baba used to always talk about what's on your algorithm, right? What's in your algorithm. If your algorithm is tuned in to people who are pushing that narrative, then you'll start saying it. And in people who don't say, you know what, I hear that people are saying it's dead. Let me, as a thinking person, go and investigate this.
Right.
Let me see if it's true. Right. And if they do research, you'll find out that Pan-Africanism is alive and well. It's actually right now, as we speak, intensifying on the continent. But if you don't know, and your world is social media, popular propaganda, then you'll get sucked into this belief. All right.
Easy to do, and I mean, and if you don't see us, if you don't see Pan-Africanism that really believe on here, that means it's alive, because this ain't where Pan-Africanism lives. It don't live on the internet.
No,
this ain't where it is. It don't live on the internet. Y'all, everything's not on the internet. Everybody don't do something good and go live. Everybody don't sign a treaty or do international business and come tell everybody about it. So if this is your only, if this your only frame of reference, come on, Spider-Man. I mean, you named yourself Spider-Man. Yeah, what it is.
Dollar Will 123 said Jesse.
So I'm gonna leave that alone.
Yeah, right, Baba. Jesse Jackson. He said Jesse Jackson damn near invented the black middle class by traveling to major cities to increase voter turnout, which produced black mayors and city jobs. Thank you so much, Dollar. Thank you so much,
That
Dollar.
whole plan to change the system from within. That's Jesse Jackson.
Yeah.
To change it from within. That's Jesse Jackson. I meet black professors all the time. I'm gonna get in there and I'm gonna change it from within. Now, what happens more often than not is that the system changes you. You don't change the system.
That's right. Mama in here.
But now we have a case study. Now we can look at that and analyze that.
That's right. Mama in here, Baba.
Pretty.
She said you on it. She said you on it, Baba. She said you on it. Mama, you met Mama. You met Mama. You met Mama.
Yes, absolutely.
Dollar 12334 also said Jesse Jackson damn near invented the black middle class by traveling. Traveling to major cities to increase vote. He already said that, which produced. Okay, you put it in there twice. Yeah. Okay, they put it in there twice. Okay, cool. So someone said, I love to hear the teachers teach. I would love to get my grandson in your school. Baba, that's a good segue. Could you please hold on? Let me pull up the Uhuru Academy before we get up out of here. And I'm also going to pull up the UACI, because I think that we definitely need to promote this, Baba. We got to promote this. And the work that's still happening, the work that's going on. Hold on. Here we go, Baba. Let me share. This is his website. This is his website right here. Sister, this is his website. Okay. And moderators, could you put uhuruacademy.org in the chat? Could you put that in the chat? Baba, go ahead and take it away.
I say, Uhuru Academy, uhuruacademy.org. Y'all, we are one of the greatest African-centered schools on the planet today.
I bear witness.
We have our K through 12 online program with students enrolled all over the country. It's one of the most amazing online learning experiences, live learning experiences that you can find. But most importantly, it's just on my heart, Dr. Ma'at, our children need to know who they are. They need to understand who they are. They need to understand that they can do math because they are math, that math comes from them. They can do science because science comes from them. They need to learn how to support one another. They need to learn how to look in the mirror and love themselves. They need to learn how to plan for the future, not just dream about the future, but to plan for the future and believe in that plan and articulate that plan. That's what Uhuru Academy scholars are learning how to do every day. They got to learn how to say Ashe. And when they say Ashe, know that that means so be it, because I have the power to manifest what I conceive. That's the Uhuru Academy. K through 12, we're always enrolling. Go to uhuruacademy.org. If you're an adult or you stopped out of school, right? We have our Operation Reconnect program. All right. And we're expanding that program because now we are service providers in 3 different school choice states. And I know some of y'all don't like school choice because anything Trump and them like you say is bad. Whatever. We love school choice. We love that you have Black people right now in certain states that can choose to use their tax dollars to put their children in an African-centered school. We are now vendors in Arkansas, Arizona, and Louisiana. Right? So I'm just saying, y'all, if you stopped out of school, Operation Reconnect, not only will we help you get a high school diploma, but once you earn a diploma, we'll also help you with a life plan, which is really more important than a diploma. So check out Operation Reconnect as well. And support the Uhuru Academy. Cash App Uhuru Academy, or you can go to the site, leave a donation. Just know that when you support us, you're supporting African-centered education. Matter of fact, if you're mad at Jesse, show your anger by supporting African-centered education.
Baba, tell him about the UACI STEM camp. Baba, tell him about the UACI STEM camp. Moderator, throw that in the chat.
The greatest STEM camp on the planet. And I ain't talking bad about no other STEM camp, but I'm an MC. So I think I'm the best MC in the world. I believe that the UACI STEM camp is the greatest STEM camp in the world for African children. It's an online experience, though. We sponsor it. We'll do it live too. But it's an online experience where students come in, and not only do they learn the African contributions, historical contributions to STEM, but then they learn the skills they need to take science, technology, engineering, and math into the future. What a beautiful collaboration. What a beautiful Pan-African collaboration between the Uhuru Academy and Conscious Ingenuity, where we're working with students all over the country, right? We're partnering with institutions. Shout out to Morgan State, all of our sponsors, past and present, but the babies log on for 2 weeks. They get exciting, interactive African history lessons in the morning for the first few hours. Then the next few hours, they on those STEM kits. They got the microbit computers, learning about circuits. They're learning AI. They're learning cybersecurity. But they're learning, most importantly, that they're to get those skills and then use those skills to improve the world, to improve our community and strengthen us, right? So we're raising engineers, and shout out to Dr. Oya Mayat, because she literally creates engineers.
Ashe.
Literally does that, right? So we're building pipelines into STEM through the UACI STEM camp. Summer 2026 registration is now open. The earlier you register, the better. All right.
And it's free. It's free. It's free.
Free 99. All right. It's free 99. Okay.
Hey, Baba, how many we doing this summer? We doing 40 or we going for 50? What we doing? We doing 50 children?
I think we don't do that high 50. I think it's time for 50. I think it's time for 50. I think we should do 50 this summer. Let's shoot for 50 scholars this summer, because we're going to have some returning scholars.
Right? Oh, absolutely.
So that's why y'all need to register now, because once you go UACI, you don't want to go nowhere else.
And look, family, it's virtual. It's virtual. Bob, I want them to know it's virtual. It's virtual. Yes, he said you log on. It's virtual. So anywhere where you are,
you log on. But it is virtual and it's fun. And a lot of times people think because it's virtual, it's not social. I'm gonna tell you something. These babies are making fast friends, and they're doing it in a positive way. There's no bullying, there's no harassment, none of that. It's a safe environment that, where they're being lifted up, honoring their ancestors, learning African wisdom through proverbs, and then mastering technology. I don't know, you can't beat it with a bat. It is what it is, right? And guess what? We didn't take no money outside our community to do it either.
Nope, not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. To make it free.
So support us. Support that. Support the UACI. Instead of calling people selling, you sold out. We need you to buy in. Don't tell me about who's selling now. Show me who buying in. Who's buying in to African-centered education? Who's gonna get that hoodie tonight? Who's gonna get the 100 years of Black History hoodie tonight? The t-shirts tonight? Who's buying in? Don't tell me who's selling out. I'm trying to build something. I need to know who buying in. Because if you ain't buying in, to me, you selling out.
That part, Baba. That part. Look, Baba, you're gonna leave it there, and then I'm gonna take it away with this, family. Before you get out of here, family, make sure. I know you see me rocking the hoodie. You all see me rocking the hoodie. 100 years, celebrating 100 years of institutionalizing the celebration, study, and teaching of Black history, right? From Negro History Week to Black History Month, family. All right. To Black History Month, family. Head on over to meltrek365.com. Head on over to meltrek365.com. Grab your hoodie. You see, I'm rocking one. The colors are vibrant. It's a high quality hoodie. Fits real good, honoring Dr. Carter G. Woodson and his legacy. So it's from Negro History Week to Black History Month, 100 years. All right, family. So I always tell people, let's rep our culture and let's celebrate our culture, right? So come on over here to meltrek365.com. Click on the button that says shop now, and then you have access to all of our apparel. I want to focus tonight, however, on the hoodie. You can come here, click the hoodie. And if you're not a hoodie person and you want a t-shirt, come click the daggone t-shirt. I had both. Okay. My aunt then tricked it out. She wanted a jacket, Baba. She wanted a jacket.
Okay.
And then my son, he getting ready to do a jersey. It's going to be off the chain. So we wearing the culture, family. We're wearing the history. So make sure that you head on over here and grab your hoodie and your t-shirt. And also, Baba, someone in the chat, they said drop your Cash App in the chat. They want your Cash App now.
And
I appreciate you.
What they say less.
They said put your Cash App in the chat. And Brother Anthony said you was cooking tonight. Peace to FBA Convo. Peace to my FBA brothers and sisters. He said, Dr. Ma'at, salute to my FBA brothers and sisters. Who else we got here? Dollar still going in. Dollar right here. 1, 2, 3, 4 said companies hire more blacks out of fear that the Jesse might demonstrate. Yeah. So that's wild though, Baba. I never thought about that, how he actually helped with establishing a black middle class. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really appreciate that.
Pressure on Coca-Cola and a lot of other major corporations. You know, it's like, yeah, you know, we will boycott you. Yeah. And it bore fruit. You know, there's an African proverb: you judge a tree by its fruit.
Come on.
Judge a tree by its fruit. All right. And so if we follow that formula, it is what it is. But go look in the mirror first and tell yourself, you judge a tree by its fruit. If you're in a movement, remember, you judge a tree by its fruit. Come on.
Absolutely. So yeah, family, I see y'all doing a lot of building in the chat. They going back and forth about Pan-Africanism. I'm just trying to look at some of these comments. Someone said they think Pan-Africanism is wanting to be in continental culture. It is an objective. That's it. Don't mind them, Doc. Joseph said, don't mind. Yeah. And then, Baba, you know, before we close out, I do want to say this. And I see FBA Convo is in the building. Baba, I always, you know, when people say, you know, I've been hearing, Dr. Ma'at is off cold. She's switching up on us. I've always been who I've said I was. Always. I never said that I wasn't an African American, Black American, or foundational, but I said all of that. If you're talking about the lineage here that's been here for hundreds of years, you're talking about my lineage. My mother's in the chat. Mama, put in the chat where our family's from. My mother's in the chat. Okay, our family's from Sumter County, South Carolina. We trace our stuff all the way back to the early 1800s. Baba Amin will tell you he went to my family's cemetery at Congruity Church, Baptist Church in Sumter County, South Carolina. He saw it. I'm pointing out, Baba, this was my great-great-grandmother right here. We have a family cemetery. So don't get it twisted. My lineage is here and has been here for hundreds of years. I make no mistake about that. But I did say this, and I'm going to say and, not but. My ideology, however, that's my ethnicity. But we got to understand, then you have ideology. I subscribe to Black nationalism and Pan-Africanism. I've never heard that. So for people to say, she flip-flopping, she love African people. It's not a flip-flop at all. And it's not a contradiction. It's not a contradiction to love and be loyal to my people right here in America and love my people and support my people, African people, no matter where they are. I've always been that. So for some of you who's saying, oh, you know, she flip-flopping, I've always said this, you know, I've always said this, guys. So anyway, Baba, do you have any closing words?
We refuse to make it an either or.
That part, Baba. That part. I'm not going to conflate ethnicity and
Yeah,
ideology.
yeah.
And guess
We
what?
gonna make it a
And guess what, Baba? If someone doesn't want to subscribe to Black nationalism or Pan-Africanism, I don't whatever you want to subscribe to, whatever ideology you want to subscribe to, that is your prerogative.
I
You
say.
know, that's your prerogative. Baba, any closing words for the listening audience?
I would just say this, learn what you're not. One of the greatest lessons I ever got was when I met a good one of my Jagnas, brother named Will Muhammad. And I asked, I say, man, you a Muslim? And he looked at me and said, what's a Muslim? And I was like, oh, you this. Then he say, well, I'm not that. But if you want to know what a Muslim is, I'll tell you. The best way to learn what something is to ask the people who live it and who practice it. So when you say I'm this, I'm not that, make sure you're just as versed on what you're not as you are on what you are. And don't subscribe to the Eurocentric thinking that when I claim something, I can't learn about that over there. I can't listen to those people. They're different. I'm scared. That's not how we move. So whether you subscribe to Pan-Africanism or not, matter of fact, if you don't, you need to become more versed on it than someone who is a Pan-African.
That part.
Someone who does practice it. That's my challenge to everybody out there. Don't just study what you are. Study what you're not as well.
That's right. That's right. And hold on, Mo Perspective, they gave us a nice testimony, Baba, right here. Said, this is true. My kid has taken the camp course twice. Phenomenal experience. Mo Perspective, thank you so much for your affirmation and your testimony. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, family. Thank you so much.
Asante Sana.
Asante Sana. Family, before you get out of here, please make sure. Oh, they asking questions now. Do Ray Me 11 said, what's the age for the summer camp? We're looking 8 to 17. 8 to 17. We split them into different groups. Actually, 4 groups. Bob and I started doing that about a year or two ago. Initially, we used to kind of lump everybody together, and then we started splitting people up into advanced or, beginner. But then we saw so we have 4 groups. We have our not the Timbuktu. Baba, what is it? Kemet, Timbuktu. No, Kemet 1, Kemet 2, Timbuktu, and Morgan State. So we have 4 different groups. All right. So you don't have to worry about your child getting lost or getting behind 4 different groups. And there's an instructor. Yep. And there's an instructor per group. So we're not playing around. Let me see, Bob, if there are any more. More
perspective.
Yeah, both perspectives. Like, my child been there. A family, for those of you who want his Cash App, it's on the screen. $, Uhuru Academy. $, Uhuru Academy. Peace, y'all. The whole conversation. Peace, AMXM. Thank you. Tiffany 410 said Dr. Maad has always been solid.
Give thanks, Dorothea C. Braun. $10 donation. Give thanks.
Give thanks. You see, Mama. Yeah. Mama ain't play that. Mama in the chat said, "Mama, put where our family from." Because they calling me a tether now, Baba. They calling me a tether. They think I'm an African that just got over here. I said, "No, man."
Deep. I've been to the family cemetery.
Come on,
your roots
Baba.
Run deep.
Yeah,
we deep.
We South Carolina folks over here, and that's on both sides. My father's mother is from, her parents, her peoples are from South Carolina, and then my paternal grandfather is from Maryland Eastern Shore. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But my mother's maternal and paternal, they South Carolina, and then my father's maternal is South Carolina. I trace my stuff back hundreds of years. And then my mother, tell you who's watching, she'll even tell you that during our family reunions, I have been tasked, give thanks, with being the family griot or the jelly. So I get up and I recite our lineage starting back, all the way back from the early 1800s. And that was because my cousin Benny traced it all the way back to the 1800s, and then he gave me the blueprint. So I get up now, and he actually transitioned, Baba, my cousin Benny. Yeah, he transitioned, but he passed that information down to me, and I recite that at my family reunions. I get up, I pour libation, and I call the names of the ancestors from the 1800s all the way down to now, Baba. Get thanks. So yeah, Baba. Yeah, I ain't worried about him, Baba.
No,
I ain't worried about
don't
it.
have to.
Yeah, I'm like, man, don't make me pull out the family tree. I'll post my
Right.
stuff.
Right.
And then
right.
after that, I post your stuff, post your lineage.
There
Post
we
your
go.
lineage.
Go
Yeah.
line for line up in here.
Yeah, but Baba, I do appreciate you. I do appreciate you coming on, taking time out of your
appreciate you.
schedule. I do. I called you, or I texted you, said, Baba, when I saw that live, I was like, Baba, I need to bring you on.
Give
And
thanks.
and you said, yeah. And I said, I'll keep you an hour. I kept you an hour and 15 minutes. But I did, I do appreciate you, Baba. Please send my love and thanks to your beautiful compliment, Mama and Koyo,
I will.
and to the babies.
I say definitely will. Please do the same for me with the
Oh
fam.
yeah, all day.
You
all
know,
day.
and yeah. Hey, Doc, let's do it. It's just to me, it's just beautiful to be chosen to be on this ride. Let's go.
Ashe, and we chosen, Baba. We
Come
chose, and our comrades are chosen. Our
That's right.
comrades are chosen. But family, make sure before you get out of here, thumb up the video, thumb it up, thumb it up, thumb it up. And also, family, share this video. Baba Amin and I dropped some powerful information, and we want to each one teach one. And the way to do that in the 21st century is simply by sharing, right? Sharing this stream. You can share it in group chats or share it on social media, okay? And also, family, subscribe to our YouTube channels. You have Baba, or he has the Uhuru Academy YouTube channel. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell so that whenever he go live, you will be notified. And also, family, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, okay? And so whenever I go live, you will be notified. And I won't be live this Sunday at 7, but I will be black at it next Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace and black excellence. Peace, Baba. Here we go.
Right those are the darts of the plan. Whose thought ain't made an art of the man. The new knowledge of power. One more prayer. Knowledge is power, and power is knowledge. Break the chains and experience the knowledge. Find power in power, and truth in knowledge. Once you know, no one can take your knowledge. I read book after book, studying the power, spent hour after hour, learning black power, destroying lie after lie. For the power found self in these pages of conceptual power. I found the truth and I'm not letting go. Frederick Douglass and Booker T found power. Nat Turner found truth in his darkest hour. Mama Harriet set us free and stood for we. In these pages I found power in our history. UEP birthed the panther in me. In me, never let a fascist pig carry me, not me. Revolutionary thoughts, all I read. Namo for my soul, keep my spirit on high. Revolutionary thought is always on the rise. Yeah, is always on the rise. Love. Knowledge is power, and power is knowledge. Break the chains and experience the knowledge. Find power in power, and truth in knowledge. Once you know, no one can take your knowledge. I read book after book, studying the power, spent hour after hour, learning black power, destroyed lie after lie. For the power found self in these pages of conceptual power. Our problem was never us, our problems was them. Them being the ones who robbed and took us. Kings and queens, nation builders. From stolen legacy to Anthony Browder. Building institutions with black knowledge. Build black libraries for black scholars. Building black minds, urban philosophy. Urban black reads every one place. Black owned bookstores, we support your space. To all black authors, we give much thanks. Knowledge is power, and power is knowledge. Break the chains and experience the knowledge. Find power in power, and truth in knowledge. Once you know, no one can take your knowledge. I read book after book, studying the power, spent hour after hour, learning black power, destroyed lie after lie. For the power found self in these pages of conceptual power. Our problem was never us. Our problem was never us. Our problem was never us. Ooh. Knowledge is power, our power is knowledge. Break the chains and experience the knowledge. Find power in power, and truth in knowledge. Once you know, no one can take your knowledge.